We're all chasing the same thing. Freedom. But on whose terms? I spent years climbing a mountain, only to realize I didn't enjoy the view. And to be honest, I didn't enjoy the journey either. What are 3 motorcycles in the garage worth when you don't have time to ride them? Time away from friends and family is time you'll never get back. If you don't have your health, you have nothing. I don't know what I was chasing. Validation maybe, or a feeling of finally being enough. When I stopped and asked myself where I will end up if I keep going in this direction, I didn't like the answer. But what choice do we have? It feels like we are stuck in this endless cycle, trading time for money in hopes that money will buy us freedom, but we give up freedom to get money. And we lose ourselves in the process of doing so. A vicious cycle. There must be another way. Everything was going great until boom. I woke up one day and I couldn't feel my legs. I was dizzy and I started to throw up. Called 911, they sent me an ambulance and I was rushed to the hospital. What happened? Well, to uncover this, we need to go back, way back. When I was young, I never really felt like I belonged. The little confidence I had was completely erased in school. Eventually, I got a job packing orders, loading trucks, and carrying steel. Climbed the ranks. Turned out I was great with people, had top-tier work ethic, was a great problem solver, and had a high standard of personal accountability. Traits that really didn't help me in school, but turned out to be very useful skills in the real world. In just a few years, I found myself both partner and manager of a small event business, managing a team and being responsible for event deliveries and venues with over thousands of people. Great job, decent salary, grew a lot as a person. I felt like I had become someone. I was the spider in the web. I had a keychain full of keys and a broken-in Carve jacket that was earned. I felt needed and important. But I didn't take care of myself. The company I was managing grew faster than my ability to delegate and run it. So my solution was to just work harder and longer. 12 to 18-hour days, 7 days a week, for months. I was running on fast food, caffeine, and cortisol. I remember coming home at the end of the day to my girlfriend at the time, and she was already asleep. When I woke up for work the next morning, she was still asleep. Then the pandemic hit, and things started to slow down, especially in the event business. Bad for the company, of course, but I felt a sense of relief. You would think that would be a good thing, but years of stress, bad diet, constantly being available, and unable to turn off, finally caught up to me. That's when the crash happened. And it's only now, 5 years later, I can say that I feel like myself again. There's this one moment that I remember so well during my recovery. I was trying to help my mom in the garden, but my hands couldn't even grip the shovel properly. I could barely go to the grocery store. I was completely overwhelmed by a simple shopping list. From a high achiever with a big keychain, fulfilling 200 orders a week, to being unable to hold a shovel and buy groceries. Burnout is no joke. I felt useless. How could I have abandoned myself to the point that it came to this? The worst part wasn't until I saw the tears and fear in my little brother's eyes that I promised myself that I will not put myself through this again. Putting myself through pain was one thing, but seeing my loved ones worried and hurt, I promised myself that I would never put them through that again. I remember leaving the hospital, walking out in harsh daylight. I saw a hearse leaving and remember thinking, that could have been me, but I walked out this time. Still, after 4 months of sick leave and 4 months of vacation, I was back at it. One more try, I told myself. To prove to myself that I could run a business successfully, lead a team while not burning out. Or maybe I just didn't have the tools to break the pattern. Still, I ran the business to its best year yet, increased the revenue and improved the profits margins by 48% from the previous year. That comeback was personal. Then I resigned. I felt like I had conquered that mountain, and I realized that it would be hard to heal in the same environment that hurt me. Plus, during the pandemic, my creative journey was starting to take off, so I felt like I had to give that an honest chance. I changed my career at 31. Left the industry I had been working in my entire life to do something completely different. It took me 5 years to recover from burnout. It took me 5 years to get my ulcerative colitis under control. It took me 31 years to realize that my self-worth and identity was attached to my performance and built on external factors. Who am I without my keychain full of keys and my broken-in Carve jacket? Well, let's find out. I can't keep breaking myself doing something I don't believe in. I'm gonna have to find a way to make a living based on my new values, on my own terms, doing something I enjoy. It is never too late to go after what you want. Do not underestimate the harm you're causing yourself from living out of alignment. A great way to make sure you're on the right track is to ask yourself the question, what would I spend my time doing if money didn't matter? And then find a way to do more of that, even if it's just for an hour a day. I'm pretty sure I would be out here on 2 wheels, capturing the moments, telling stories like this one. Sharing your passions and art online, growing a network of like-minded people, working with cool brands, being paid for the value you provide instead of trading time for money, work from anywhere you want, whenever you want. That sounds a lot more like freedom to me. Of course, everything is falling apart. Your new life will cost you your old one. I thought I was ready, and I guess I was. But I couldn't even begin to imagine how hard it would be to leave everything behind that felt so familiar. Entrepreneurship might be one of those things where you feel ready, but you never know what to expect. You just have to jump in, learn to swim, and trust yourself that you won't drown. I tried so hard to hold on to my old life while trying to build my new one, that my old life eventually fell apart completely. Almost like the universe was pushing me forward, forcing me to evolve. There's no turning back now. And as scary as that felt, it was also freeing. It's up to me now, completely. The only problem, it's like, for the longest time, my goal has been to become a full-time creator. And when I finally achieved it, I felt lost. Like I completely ran out of fuel. Not knowing what to do next, second guessing every decision, even questioning the path entirely. Here I am, trying to inspire people to carve their own path, and I'm not even sure where I'm going anymore. That made me feel a lot of guilt. That's the thing with entrepreneurship. There is no ceiling on how far you can take it. There's also nothing there to catch you when you fall. And for me, it came with a wave of self-doubt, uncertainty, and I think loneliness. Like I was a ship in the middle of the ocean, drifting, with no land in sight. A while ago, from a recent collaboration, I came in contact with Mateusz, founder of Oakwood. From a small workshop in Poland, he turned his passion for woodworking into a global brand, creating handcrafted goods loved by customers all over the world, and career opportunities for like-minded people. I took the opportunity to ask him two very important questions. First one being, what advice would you give to someone who is looking to turn their passion into a career? To which he said, many people hesitate because they overthink it. My take is simple. Don't wait for everything to be perfect before you start. You will never feel fully ready anyway. Just do it, learn as you go, and let your passion pull you forward. Progress always beats perfection. Let's sit with that. You'll never feel fully ready. Just do it, learn as you go, and let your passion pull you forward. This confirms my feeling of not knowing what to expect, jumping in and trusting myself that I won't drown. But what do you do when you feel like you are drowning? Let's pause for a second and thank Mateusz and Oakwood for sponsoring this video and for reinventing my workspace. All right, for the second question I asked him, was there ever a point where you almost gave up or questioned your path? What kept you going? To which he said, yes, many times, especially when things felt overwhelming or growth hit a wall. What kept me going was reminding myself we are building something meaningful, something that will last. I kept telling myself this is a marathon, not a sprint. Also, having people who believed in what we were doing makes all the difference. Motivation comes and goes, but commitment keeps you moving anyway. This definitely made me feel less lonely. Build something meaningful. Have people that believe in you. I realized that things like community, routine, meaning, and direction, things that are essential for us human beings to function, often comes built in with a regular 9 to 5. But when you're carving your own path, those things don't come automatically. It's up to you to create it. The line from Matteus that keeps echoing in my mind: let your passion pull you forward. I realized I had lost track of the thing that was pulling me forward: passion. It was never about becoming a full-time creator. It was about the doing. This whole media thing didn't start with me wanting to carve out an alternative career path. It started with the feeling I got when I was out on 2 wheels, carving up the roads, and a strong intuition to share that feeling. I guess I lost track of that when I was fighting to keep my head above water. But here are some good news. The test results just came back and I'm officially inflammation-free. The ulcerative colitis is under control and I'm starting to feel like myself again. Hopefully this will allow me to raise my sights and get back on track. Goals are great, but be careful relying on them. If you feel lost or start to questioning yourself, you might just need to define your purpose and remind yourself why you started. How do I find my purpose? You get burned, then you light the way. I believe purpose is what comes out of the other side of struggle, reflection, and service. The struggle tests us and forces us to grow. When we reflect, we turn that into experience. Then we turn that experience into lessons and share that with others. I have experienced the consequences of living out of alignment. And I feel like the greatest gift I can give right now is to shine a light on the alternative. Help people snap out of autopilot, realign, and escape the grind. And I'm making that my full-time job. Like Matteus said, what kept me going was reminding myself we are building something meaningful. It's time to build something meaningful. I used to chase success, validation, and other people's definition of a life well lived. It got me nowhere. Freedom comes from alignment, living with intention, carving your own path. We all want freedom, but it's up to you to decide what that means. if you have been feeling a bit lost lately, I would suggest that you download the Realignment Sheet. It includes some very important questions that I think everyone should ask themselves at least once in their life. Questions that I wish I asked myself sooner.